What's up, fellas? Today we have a video from my boy Rome over on his AMU Rants channel. Without further ado, let's get it.
So I came across a clip that I want to share with you guys that I think is going to really expose the true meaning of why so many women are complaining about not getting approached anymore. And even one of my very own subscribers chimed on this as well. Let's go ahead and get into it.
I've also been getting a lot of comments like this, and it drives me insane because it is not true. No matter how many people on this app are going to be like, well, no, you have to be attractive to approach. No.
Go back to when guys are just always walking up to you when you're out. Like, could you imagine? Oh my gosh, if you're like at the grocery store, at the gym, they're like, hi, I just couldn't help but say you're so beautiful. Like, I'd love to take you out sometime if you're single, if they were like good looking. I'm like, I'd love to take you out sometime if you're single, if they were like good looking. I'm like, I'd love to take you out sometime if you're single, if they were.
Well, that didn't take long, now did it? And it just goes to show you, let women talk long enough. Even in brief instances like this, they are going to tell on themselves.
I'm like,
this motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
Sure the hell don't. I'm like Steph Curry over here, but we're going to let her finish.
And this is exactly what I mean by it not being true. So I was at a coffee shop the other week, and a guy came up to me and approached me, and we started having a conversation, and it just so happened, like, we ended up sitting next to each other. 2 hours went by. Was I, like, feeling butterflies in this conversation? Absolutely not. Was he an objectively, attractive person? Maybe someone would say yes. There were certain things about him that were attractive, like he was well-dressed, clearly took care of himself, was a good conversationalist. I was not attracted to this person, despite having a nice conversation. And I'll give myself credit for, like, not being a bitch and being like, I'm not going to sit next to you, or just being, like, standoffish with him trying to make a conversation with me. Like, I'm not going to do that because I'm not going to treat someone with disrespect. Like, he clearly put himself out there to be kind and friendly for no reason to me. I mean, clearly his reason was to hit on me, but good for him for putting himself out there. Like, my lack of attraction to this person should not stop him from doing this to other women in a kind and respectful way. And, I'm glad I had the 1 to 2 hour conversation because it was nice to get to learn more about a new person and be curious. And so I think a lot of women don't do this, and they should be doing this, because when they don't do this, they make men feel like shit. And I know if I was a guy and I was rejected constantly, I'd feel like shit. So we need to teach women to not be bitchy to men who are just being kind and putting themselves out there. And men need to get this narrative out of their head that it's only the attractive ones that, should approach, and, then, they get the girl. Because it's just wrong. It's literally just wrong.
Yeah. You can't make this shit up, people. You cannot make this shit up.
This woman literally proceeded to sit over here and say why it's not true, only to turn around and prove why it was in the first place.
So let's start where we have common ground. I think she's right. I think women should be kinder to the men who approach them, especially the ones who approach respectfully. I think women should have a conference call or a group email about how not to be bitchy to the men who do that. But it's also troublesome that she had to watch this video back before uploading it and didn't even realize she contradicted herself just that fast. Also, she wasted 2 hours of this man's time. He could have been doing anything. Playing Madden, going to the gym, day trading, helping an old lady across the street, something productive, or hell, catching a nap real quick to recharge his batteries. Instead, he's talking to a woman who said somebody will find him attractive. That's a smack in the face, man. I would much rather, and I'm sure that guy would have as well, even though I don't know him, but I would much rather a woman tell me to my face, sorry, bro, there's no chance, there's no hope. Please go take your energy, money, and attention elsewhere. It will be wasted here. If women were capable of being that honest, how many men do you think would love to get that message? And I know some guys can't take rejection and they spaz out, probably the same way their single mom would have. But for men who had fathers in their lives, and for guys who had strong male role models coming up who are unapologetically masculine, and I hopefully inspire you guys to be, tell me off top. Tell me up front that you have no interest whatsoever of giving me access to you, so I can thank you for my time being saved and point my effort in the direction of the women who actually like me like that.
And what I've come to realize, and this was also brought up by somebody who watches the OG channel, I don't think it's just about the men that they find attractive anymore. And I think there finally seems to be a small sense of awareness kicking in for these women. I think what these women are coming to realize is even the men that probably would approach them, but they're not attracted to per se, kind of like what she was referring to. Women are having less experiences like the one she's referring to. But because of the way that experience went is exactly why men are checking out.
Bingo.
This is exactly why you're starting to see more male and female content creators telling and teaching women how to give out choosing signals. So that way men know that they're not wasting their time. You know what I'm saying? Like it's that's the thing that men are talking about. And I think what it really comes down to is that what it's showing me is that women have, I've always said this before, but I think this definitely proves it or helps prove it now that women have far bigger egos than men. Way bigger egos. Because I want you to think about this. Women get dolled up only to turn around and complain about getting hit on. Why? Because it'll mostly come from the men that they don't want. But now that you're starting to see more of the men that they don't want not even doing that shit, now all of a sudden it's a problem. You want to know why? Because they value the validation from other men. That's their currency. Attention is like air to them. So when it's starting to deteriorate, now all of a sudden it's, oh, what's wrong with these men? Where all the men go? Why aren't y'all approaching anymore? Oh, y'all must be gay. Y'all acting sassy. Y'all think y'all the prize now. Y'all want to be chased now. So now because you're no longer making them a priority, now because you're no longer chasing them, now that you're no longer simping and thirsting for them, now that you're no longer making them your number one priority, you're making your purpose your number one priority and attracting and drawing women to you as opposed to chasing them. Now all of a sudden they got all these slurs that they can think of to say about you.
Absolutely true. And the problem that we're having here in the West, especially, is the fact that women do treat the validation of men, even the men they don't want, as more important than the water they drink or the air they breathe. See, gentlemen, you have to remind yourselves how valuable your attention is, both sexual and non-sexual. You can't just be giving it out like Halloween candy. It needs to be earned. Because here's what we know, those of us who pay attention to women, who've had any success at all with women in the past and in the present, there's no need to chase a woman who likes you. The woman who likes you is going to be almost impossible to get rid of. That's her level of buy-in. That's her level of affinity towards you. Understand that, and you're already halfway to victory, because you never have to work hard for the woman who actually likes you back. She's compliant. She's kind. She's actually fun to be around. And you're not feeling like you're a salmon fighting your way up a waterfall just to dodge grizzly bears when you get up to the top.
Why? Because they're trying to shame, insult, and guilt you into conforming back into what they want. Can we just go back to the day when, a guy would just put, but she said the quiet part out loud. The part that this young lady is over here trying to cover up.
Nah, I think we're all the way good on doing the old way for modern women. It's kind of like trying to put your house fire out with vodka and kerosene. You're not going to have a good time.
And then she mentioned the whole butterflies in the stomach type of deal. Like, I hate that shit. I'm like, the moment I heard that, I was kind of like, okay, I can already see you're kind of like, you're kind of like in that Delulu fantasy bubble talking about butterflies and all that shit. I'm like, the moment I hear that type of verbiage, it's like, okay, I already know what type of time she on. So once again, it's like, as we always say, bro, you let them talk long enough, they always tell on themselves. And this right here is just another example of that. It's fellas. Clearly y'all are making an impact in the dating market, bro. Because even the quote unquote men that they claim that they don't want, is starting to get their attention that even they're not checking for them and not thirsting for them like they used to. That says a lot, bro. That says a lot. Anyway, y'all let me know what you think. Thanks you guys for tuning in. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and all that good jazz. And until next time, until another rant, deuces.
Shout out to our boy Rome over on his AMU Rants channel. I'll leave a link to the original video pinned down to the top comment. But before I go, let me say this. Guys, we're seeing an impact in the Western dating market. As Rome said, the men they want aren't checking for them. And the men they think they're better than and don't want them neither. And they're starting to wonder what's wrong with them. They're starting to wonder, why can't I attract the same kind of attention and validation I used to command just 3, 5, maybe even 10 short years ago? You guys are definitely doing the work. And I commend you. And I invite you to hold the line. Stock your money up. Get your passports. For those of you who can't leave the country because of certain legal constraints, if you've got some familial bonds you can't quite break yet, I know the feeling. You do what you got to do. Work on you. Not for them. Work on you. Become a complete man. Become a complete person for yourself. Everything else will be a largely beneficial side effect. You being in the best shape of your life will not only make you look good in the mirror, both in your clothes and outside of them, but it's also going to probably lower your cholesterol. If you got diabetes, you're probably going to be able to function better when all the rest of your body's properly maintained. If you're making money, and you're making more money, guess what? You can pay off the debt that's crushing you right now. And if you're debt free, it just gives you even more options. The better you become for you, the better your life becomes in the aggregate. So I salute you. I commend you. And I wish you the best. That said, that's my time. Like the video? Comment down below. Share this video with a friend and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Never let your brother suffer in silence when the truth can set him free. Networkers, be working. Until next time.